Hey everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Who's On First, which is a Battle Spot series like Road to Ranked or Fight for First, or those other ones that are attributed to other YouTubers like me. And I will be going on the special ladder, playing VGC 2016 format. My name is John Who, otherwise known as J Who F Self, and this is going to be my first ever Battle Spot series. So, let's hop right in. We're going to go to Special Ladder. We are going to be using the Shedinja team, which I've been featuring on my stream for maybe the past 2 or 3 weeks. So it's going to be Shedinja, Gengar, Kyogre, Xerneas, Whimsicott, and Landorus. And we're going to pull 2 battles, as usual. And hopefully we'll get some good quality matchups and not be stuck by the Battle Spot ladder. We're going to be starting at a rating of 1708, which is probably around where I'd want to be. And I'm going to start with the rating I already have, since I don't really want to reset it. So we're going to look for our first battle here. Hoping to pull someone around my area, but if that is not what's going to happen, then we'll pull someone and we'll be just having a fun time. Alright, so we're going to pull Dynamo VGC from Italy with a 1685 rating. That's pretty close to where I am, so he's going to be running a pretty cool team. Salamence, Lipard, Kyogre, Xerneas, so actually choosing the same 2 restricts that I have, a Manectric and a Mungus. So, pretty interesting. There's no Smeargle here, so Whimsicott probably isn't going to be a big help. However, the Whimsicott could help me out with the Salamence and the Lipard. The Whimsicott I run is carrying Moonblast, specifically for Salamence, though it could be also be good for just chunk damage in general. As for the other Pokemon, since his restricted core is so similar to mine, and he doesn't have a whole lot of methods to attack Shedinja, the only ones I can think of are the Salamence and Lipard. So I'm thinking about bringing Shedinja. The Manectric may also have a fire move. I'm not too concerned about that though, because I have a Kyogre and he has a Kyogre. So let's think about what our lead should be. I'm very okay with leading Gengar. There's not much you can do about it. It is just the standard Gengar I like to run with the substitute Mega Gengar trapping, not Perish Trap, but I like it nonetheless. And then leading Whimsicott could be good. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I think I'm going to lead Whimsicott as well. And I'm going to bring Shedinja and Kyogre. Xerneas isn't doing a whole lot here. The Amoonguss is really hampering me. And even though it does pretty well against the rest of his team, I don't feel like it's necessary. Especially since mine is a slower Xerneas and kind of loses to other Xerneas if they get set up faster. So, we're going to go in against Dynamo VGC. Hope he has a good time. Hope I have a good time. And we're going to get started here. Okay, so he's going to lead with Salamence and Kyogre, so pretty good lead for him. Neutral lead for me, I guess. It's like Salamence, I can't knock it out with my Whimsicott. I'd have to double into it, but then his Kyogre is going to be able to get a free attack off. So, really not sure what I want to do this first turn. I might go for the... What I might do is, does he protect his Salamence? If he protects his Salamence, I need to attack the Kyogre. But if he doesn't, then I can just go for an attack. Okay, let's see here. Then again, Salamence is the only threat to the Shedinja right now, so if I can get rid of it from the get-go, we can have a much easier time for the rest of the game with Shedinja. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to Sludge Bomb and Moonblast Salamence. If he protects, then his Kyogre gets a free attack, but he can't knock out both of my Pokemon, so I'll be able to keep one of them for later. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so Gengar is going to go ahead and Mega Evolve. Alright, and he's going to Mega Evolve his Salamence as well, as expected. And we're hoping for no Protect on his end. We're not going to see that Protect, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up the easy turn 1 knockout on Salamence, doubling up into him. Looks to be the naive version. That is the amount of damage that a naive Salamence takes from Moonblast. A lot of them are naive nowadays, so I really don't have to worry too much about picking up KOs by doubling up. And he's going to be Icy Wind Kyogre, so he's not even going to pick up a KO on either of my Pokemon. Slowing them down, maybe. Doing a little over half to my Whimsicott. Lowering my Gengar speed, that's going to be important, so I probably have to pull him out. Pull her out. It was a her. I can't forget that. And we'll see what he puts in for the Salamence. Picking up that turn 1 knockout was very good for me. He's going to have that Liepard, so... So then, what do we do here? I think what I'm going to do... If he's faster than my Gengar, then this could be a problem. But if he's not faster than the Gengar... yeah. Because the thing is I'm okay with losing my Gengar. I don't think I want to lose it, though. I definitely just want to switch. So I think I'm going to pull the double switch here, so I don't take any damage from his water moves. So I'm expecting him to go for a water move here. If he's faster, which I would assume he is, then again, I don't know. Because most people would choose to EV their Kyogre to only outspeed Mega Salamence after an Icy Wind. So maybe I was still faster. I didn't want to risk it, though, so... Safe double switch into my Kyogre and Shedinja to stop the attacks of the opposing Pokemon, and also not get Encore locked into Protect if I were to protect myself with the Gengar. So that'll be good. Look at him, he's so cute. Fake Out is not going to affect my Shedinja, and he is going to Scald, so I played it right there. Scald is going to do a little bit of damage here. Maybe pick up the burn as well. Oh, critical. No burn. So that's excellent. Excellent for me. It indicates to me that he probably has Water Spout as his last move, which means he can't really damage the Kyogre a whole lot. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to Origin Pulse here. I need to get rid of the Liepard as soon as possible here. That way I can just sit here with Shedinja and start doing its Shedinja thing. And I'm going to use Struggle Bug. There is no reason to really status him. I just need to get rid of the Liepard as fast as possible. He's going to use Taunt, so that is step number 1 to stopping something you don't know what it does. And Icy Wind is not going to hit my Shedinja, and we're going to do very little damage to my Kyogre, since it is only base 55 power. Yeah, 10 damage. So I did use Struggle Bug, and that is the good result here. And Origin Pulse is going to connect. That's very good for me. So I'm going to knock his Liepard down to Sash, presumably, yes. Do a good chunk on the Kyogre, crit it back, crit for crit. Although I don't think his crit was that much more favorable than mine. And Struggle Bug is going to pick up the knockout on Liepard, so really excellent for me. And also dropping the special attack of Kyogre. And that will go a long way for helping the rest of my team survive against it. Now, I'm presuming his last is Xerneas, but if it is a Mungus, then we could be in a little bit of trouble. But it is going to be that Xerneas, and that's good for me, since I can just spam Struggle Bug a little bit, and I highly doubt he has any move to hit Shedinja with either of these Pokemon. So I am going to start playing the timer game. As long as Shedinja lives on the field, and I knock out one of his Pokemon, I should be able to clutch this victory out. It might take a little while. That is the nature of Stall, but I am taunted, so I can't do anything other than Struggle Bug here. Let's see here. Now I'm going to use this time to think about how he can win. The way he can win is if he knocks out the rest of my Pokemon. But the thing is that all of his Pokemon don't do very much to Gengar after a few Struggle Bugs. So once I get Gengar in and I start subbing up, then I don't think he can win anymore. So I basically just have to stall, alternate protects every turn. And I still have the Whimsicott as well. So I'm going to get the Protect off my Kyogre. And Kyogre's going to Scald into Kyogre, and Xerneas is going to Geomancy. Of course, that is what you would want to do in this scenario, because that's really the only way you're going to generate enough momentum for yourself in order to possibly pull out a win. But Struggle Bug is going to start knocking that special attack down really hard. After 2 Struggle Bugs, you'll be back to neutral, and that's not good for Xerneas, who relies a lot on the Geomancy boost providing its offense. So Struggle Bug is actually going to do a little bit more to the Kyogre and knock it down to -2. Now, here I might just switch into my Whimsicott, because Whimsicott is pretty useless at this point. I don't have much of a use for it, and it does not have Protect, so I can't stall with it. And Encore is not very helpful here, since I didn't get it in against the Xerneas. And let's see, what else can I would say, yeah, I'd probably sack the Whimsicott here, and then I would Struggle Bug here. There's really no reason not to keep my Kyogre in and risk getting knocked out by Moonblast, so I think that is the play I'm going to make here. Sacking my Whimsicott so that I can get another free Protect the next turn and knock down his Xerneas to neutral. We'll see how this goes. So Whimsicott's going to come back in. Going to use the animation to sneak off a little bit more time. 3 seconds, and he's going to go ahead and Moonblast me, so I did call that right. What he could have done was protected his Xerneas instead, but then he lets my Kyogre get a free attack off, and that's not really that good either. Scald not going to affect my Shedinja, and Struggle Bug is going to knock his Kyogre down to -3 now, and Xerneas will be knocked down to -2. That didn't even move his HP bar. That's pretty hilarious, but Shedinja is not the attacking force we all know and love, so in Groudon or whatever else you were thinking about. I am going to bring in that Kyogre now. If I can get Gengar in at the very end when everything is very low on the attack stat, that would be ideal. So Kyogre going to come in here. And I'm thinking about just going for the attack on Kyogre. The Xerneas has no way to knock me out anymore, and the Kyogre is at -3. Or 4, was it? I don't even remember. I think it's -3. So, yeah, -3. So I am going to go ahead and just attack the Kyogre and attempt to burn the Xerneas. Because once I get it burned, he's on timer, and I can survive the rest of the game just by doing that. Yeah, I don't think there's much you can do about it. He can crit me, maybe. If he gets a critical hit, he can maybe win, but I would expect that his Xerneas is going to protect here to stop Struggle Bug from nerfing it even more. Kyogre might protect as well, in which case I have played the mind game successfully. His Kyogre is going to protect this turn, so that's pretty interesting. Not going to protect the Xerneas, which is going to take that burn. And he's going to go for another Geomancy. Wow, the greed. Although that is probably the play you would want to make here. So Thunder is going to fail, since he did protect himself. Will-O-Wisp is going to land, and that's going to cut him down on timer. More timer than I'm already timering him, so good for me. And he is locked into Geomancy for this next turn, which is excellent for me, really. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to Origin Pulse, since I don't really fear the Kyogre anymore, and I'm going to Struggle Bug once again, knock him down even further than he was before. And he will be back at +1 after this, after he gets his Geomancy off. He will be at +4 speed and special defense, however, so I won't be able to do much damage to him attacking, basically. But passive damage is our friend. Burn will take him out in another 7 turns, I guess, because that was the first turn of Burn. And I'm not sure if our timer will allow for 8 turns, but I'm definitely just going to struggle a little bit. Struggle Buggle. Alright. Now, his Xerneas is going to get the Geomancy off, and I'm going to get a little bit of damage with his Origin Pulse, hopefully. I'm not afraid of his Kyogre, still at -3, so we'll see what he does. His Kyogre does appear to be faster, so he's going to go for the Scald. We're going to do not very much damage at all. I'm going to pick up the Burn, which is unfortunate for me since I can't really stall with my Kyogre anymore. I am going to land my Origin Pulse, though, and that is going to do a lot of damage to the Xerneas and a little bit more to the Kyogre. Struggle Bug is going to pick up more damage, almost knocking out the Kyogre, actually, so one more Struggle Bug should knock out that Kyogre, who is now at -4, so really not an offensive threat to me. Looks like Xerneas will only have 4 more turns after this, due to that Burn, and he is only going to be at +1, so I'm going to protect here. That seems like an obvious play. But I'm going to do it anyway, so I can get some more burn damage and get another Struggle Bug off, which is important to me in this matchup, since I don't want the Xerneas to be knocking out my Gengar anytime soon. So, here's a battle that really accentuates what Shedinja does best, which is wall out things that can't touch it, and then you just whittle them down with passive damage. As long as you keep the lead with Pokemon or HP, you can stall them down to timer and win pretty easily. Another reason why Shedinja is pretty pretty good, I would say, is that it has a very good matchup versus Xerneas and Kyogre. Not offensively, but you can just stall them out because they can't hit you. He's going to protect the Xerneas, which is a good play, and possibly protecting the Kyogre as well. Yes, we see the protect from Kyogre as well. So that means he's going to waste my protect here. That's okay. Since now we are down to 3 minutes, and his Pokemon are very weakened. So this next turn, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for the Double Protect. There's no real reason for me to go for anything other than Double Protect, because if I get Double Protect, then I get to keep my Kyogre, and if I don't, then he's going to knock me out anyway. So the best play here is to Double Protect. Struggle Bug will knock out his Kyogre regardless, I think, and then it'll be down to 2v1 on a +0 Xerneas, unless he decides to Geomancy again, in which case I still get to keep my Kyogre. So really, I think I've locked it down here. I'm just going to wait another 20 seconds for this move to go off. Yeah, I'm not sure what he could have really done there. Instead of taunting, maybe he should have just attacked, though I don't think that would have helped him either, because Foul Play is going to hit my Sash, and then he still doesn't have it. He's going to try for the Double Protect on his Kyogre, and we were both going to fail, so that is good for me, since I will now have the Struggle Bug. Dazzling Gleam is probably going to pick up the knockout. He is still at +1, so that is going to knock out my Kyogre. And Struggle Bug is going to knock out his Kyogre, so now we're down to a 2v1 situation. If he can knock out my Gengar with a crit or something like that, I'm not even sure if that will help actually, since he is at +0, so I'm not sure if a crit would even help him. Let's see. So Burn is going to knock him down to around 25%. I'm actually going to take this timer and win, because if I can switch in then I can just win by just protecting. So, a little lame, but this is sort of how the team works in a stall situation, is you want to get them into a position where you're stalling with Shedinja, and then you just win off of timer. And there are a lot of scenarios where if the opponent doesn't know what the Shedinja does, and they lead something like Kangaskhan or Zern or Cresselia, then you can just sit in with Shedinja and Gengar, and you can just stall. You get 8 free turns at least due to Gengar's substitute and substitute and protect combination. So that is a lot of free damage, since Shedinja is burning things and confusing things too. So you get a lot of free hits, free turns, to just passively negate your opponent and not even attack them. So I am going to just wait the timer out now. Perhaps just Double Protect to waste more time. Yeah, so I'm going to Double Protect here just to waste more time. But I think the game was mine a long time ago once I knocked out his Salamence and his Life Orb. The turn 1 knockout on Salamence is another thing this team likes to do, and is very important if you bring Shedinja. If you don't bring Shedinja, it's not as important. However, it is still it's pretty nice to just get a knockout on the Mega, especially when your whole team is pretty much slower than it. And time is going to run out. I'm going to defeat Dynamo, and that is going to be a 2-1 victory for me. So, a long battle for the first one, which I went to timer on, but that is what happens with a stall team usually. So let's see if we can find another battle, and maybe it won't be the stall mode. Maybe I'll get to show off the other mode, the Xerneas mode. Yes. Alright, we're at 100 battles now with a 1723. Pretty good. We're going to find Javi from Mexico with a 1702 rating, so pretty quick. And he's going to have, I believe this is, well, it looks kind of like Hibiki's team, with Sceptile and the Scizor, but he has a Porygon Z and a Ditto as well, so I'm pretty sure Hibiki did not run either of those two Pokemon. I could be wrong, but pretty interesting team. Blu-ray, Kyogre, Rayquaza, with the Scizor, Sceptile, Porygon Z, and Ditto. So, the interesting thing is that Shedinja does well against half of his team. The problem is that Ditto can transform into my Shedinja, and I don't have very many ways of actually hitting my own Shedinja, embarrassingly enough. So perhaps not bringing the Shedinja is the play here. Let's see. I'm thinking about bringing Gengar. Ooh, the Scizor is going to be a bit of trouble here. So Gengar and Landorus, or Landorus and Whimsicott. I think I'm going to lead Whimsicott and Landorus here, with Gengar and Kyogre or Xerneas. Probably Xerneas. I would like Xerneas here more. Kyogre kind of falls to the Sceptile, and I don't want Ditto to be... Well, Ditto also transforms into the Xerneas as well, so that could be an issue. I think I am going to bring the Xerneas, though. My own Kyogre could be helpful, but probably not. I don't want to be weak to the Sceptile and the Rayquaza. Though I don't think he can Mega both. He can only Mega one. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and leave Whimsicott Landorus to just get the attack drop on his leads, presumably. The Scizor or something. Yeah, okay. So we're going to get the attack drop onto his Scizor. Very important here. Let's see what his Kyogre is. Looks to be Primal since his Drizzle did not activate before my Intimidate. That's probably a dead giveaway that he would be Scarf. But he's not Scarf. He's the Primal version. So, what I can do here. I unfortunately do not know a whole lot about my Scizor calcs, but I'm thinking about just flinging my King's Rock into his Kyogre and fling my King's Rock into Kyogre and Earthquake here. Because that is good damage no matter what. I hope he doesn't knock me out, because if he knocks me out, then it's going to be a bad time. So, we'll try this. Okay, so he's not going to go for the Bullet Punch for his turn. So, Fling is going to come out, hit the Kyogre. He is going to flinch this turn. No way around it. Earthquake is going to come out. Going to attack both of the opposing Pokemon. Going to do a lot of damage, 50% to around both of them. And Kyogre's going to flinch. Scizor is going to Tailwind. Now, that's very interesting. He could outspeed my Whimsicott now. However, I can just lock him into it. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him into that. And I can't do a whole lot with my Landorus now, since it is slower than the Kyogre. But, let's see here. Now what I could do is I could just sack it, or go for an Earthquake, because he may protect his Scizor as well, and then block my Encore entirely. But then he has Icy Wind probably or something. Yeah, so I think I'm going to Protect anyway. So Protect coming out from Landorus, that means his Scizor probably did not Protect, and that means I'm going to get him into that Tailwind, so that's good for me. If he knocks out my Whimsicott, that's actually ideal. Then I can get my... Oh, wow. So he must be the very slow version Kyogre. So this is a very, very slow Kyogre, it looks like. Since his Scizor even outsped the Kyogre. Oh, no. He must have used Bullet Punch, and then he got locked into Tailwind. So maybe not the lowest speed version. So I'm going to switch into Xerneas here, and I'm going to have that big Moonblast coming out for Whimsicott here. I need to save my Landorus for his Rayquaza. He's going to switch that Scizor, hopefully into Rayquaza. Porygon Z. Alright, we'll take those. That's free damage, unless he doubles into my Whimsicott. He is going to get that special attack boost, and that's going to be unfortunate, since both Landorus and Whimsicott have lower special defense than defense, so he's of course going to get that special attack boost. And let's see here. Yeah, he's going to be faster. He's going to have that Origin Pulse ready. I'm going to knock out my Whimsicott, unfortunately, so... Let's see, that was turn 3 of Tailwind. So I do have this opportunity now to bring in my Landorus once again. And protect this turn as well. So perhaps switching into Xerneas that turn was not the greatest play, since I could have had a full health Xerneas instead. I just thought my Landorus was going to be very important, especially for the Scizor matchup, since I can't do a whole lot outside of the Landorus. But a double protect here seems pretty much like the only way to go out. However, I could Geomancy. Yeah, I could Geomancy as well, and hope for his Origin Pulse to miss. There's not really much of a reason for him to go that, though. He just normal attacks the Zern with his Porygon. So perhaps I actually pull a switch into Gengar, if I predicted that. So I think I'm going to go do that. If he normal attacks, he's actually going to switch his Porygon out. So that's pretty interesting. He's going to switch into the Ditto. Really good play for him. I'm going to go ahead and copy my Landorus. And probably going to go for an Origin Pulse. So, didn't read that quite correctly. However, I do know his whole team now. If his Origin Pulse misses, that'll be good for us. But otherwise, we are probably going to drop this one. Let's see. Yeah, he does Origin Pulse. And it is going to connect. So, pretty unfortunate. But good play on his end. Just going to get the Intimidate for himself. His Tailwind is going to peter out, so perhaps flinging into the Scizor would have been better, so he did not get that Tailwind up, but I did not know he had Tailwind. So, let's see. My win condition now is to get up Geomancy. If he's Scarf Ditto, then he has Earthquake. But if he's not Scarf Ditto, I have a chance to win the speed tie, get 2 flinches, and then Geomancy up. Which I think is what I'm going to have to do here in order to actually win. Okay, so we do in fact win the speed tie. I do miss the Ditto, unfortunately, so if he Earthquakes here, then he's going to knock me out. Rock Slide's going to connect on the Kyogre, do a little bit of damage. Ditto is going to Rock Slide back and connect on both of my Pokemon, so that's also unfortunate here. And I'm going to flinch, and he's not going to flinch, so good game to my opponent. The Ditto switch in was pretty much the thing he needed. I also unnecessarily got rid of my Gengar for no reason. He gets a critical hit as well, but that's not really going to matter. And let's see, I'm trying to think of what I could have done a little better. I had control of the game up until, I'd say up until he switched his Scizor out. So what I could have done instead of Moonblasting a slot was Encore his Kyogre into Ice Beam. And then get a Geomancy off with my Xerneas, hopefully. But the combination of Steel plus Kyogre is not a matchup this team likes facing a lot, especially since I only have my Xerneas, and I have a Kyogre. So especially if that Steel is Ferrothorn, there's not a whole lot I can do about it. But, quicker game, so kind of balances out with the first long game that we had. So, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like or comment, subscribe if you want, and I'll be sure to have these out more often. This is the first one, so I do have to make a schedule, but that shouldn't be too hard. I'm planning on every Tuesday at least having an episode, and possibly uploading twice a week, so another day we'll also have another episode, but haven't decided which day that is yet. But until next time, I'll see you guys around. This is JUF Self, signing out.